Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have discussed about the global wind patterns, and before that, we have discussed about the convection currents with the help of certain experiments. There, we have discussed one term that was specific heat capacity. So, before going through the today's topic, land and sea bridges, let us recapitulate the previous aspect, that was specific heat capacity. We have discussed the specific heat capacity means the amount of energy which must be added in the form of heat to 1 unit of mass of the substance in order to cause an increase of 1 unit in its temperature. So let us try to understand once more the aspect. So we have discussed on the previous day regarding the experiment. There we have taken in two separate bowls a small amount of sand and water. We have taken the initial temperature readings of both the sand and water. There we have discussed it was around about 35 degrees Celsius and 27 degrees Celsius respectively, and afterwards we have kept under the direct sunlight. After certain hours of duration, we have taken the final temperature reading of both the substances simultaneously. There we have observed that the final temperature of the sand was about 40 degrees Celsius, and whereas of water it was around about 29 degree Celsius. So what do we have? Came to the conclusion that in the case of sand, the temperature reached from 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, means 5 degrees Celsius temperature was raised in the case of sand, whereas in the case of water, the temperature raised from 27 to 29 degrees Celsius, means only 2 degrees Celsius of temperature was raised. Just like when we have kept both these sand and water under the shade for again certain hours of duration, what we noticed that at the initial state the temperature was of sand around 40 degrees Celsius and water was around about 29 degrees Celsius, and the temperature of the sand, it has fallen down from 40 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius, whereas the water temperature fallen down from 29 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. So what do we have noticed? That the temperature of the sand, it has decreased by 10 degrees Celsius, whereas the temperature of water has decreased by 4 degrees Celsius by keeping these two substances under the same conditions for same duration of time. So what do we may have concluded? That the specific heat capacity of water is more, means if we have to increase the temperature of unit mass of water by 1 degree Celsius, we have to provide much more amount of heat to water as compared to sand. Also, we have noticed in this aspect, when we have kept in sand, that the sand, it cools down also very quickly or fastly as compared to the water. So just we'll correlate those aspects with land bridge and sea bridge. Let us consider here I have drawn two diagrams. On the first left half I have drawn the situation for the daytime, and on the second half part I have drawn the situation for night time. So we have seen that during the daytime the land surface, it gets heated up faster as compared to the water. Here I have shown the sea, the land along with that, and I have written here LP and HP. So you have to consider LP here stands for low pressure and HP stands for high pressure. So we have discussed that during the daytime the land gets heated up fastly as compared to the water. So obviously the air above the land, it would be heated up much more fastly, and due to being heating aspect, it would be raising above. So what it will create there an area of low pressure would be created there. Whereas on the other side, the air above the sea surface, it would be cooler, and area of high pressure has been developed as compared to that low pressure. And we have discussed in the previous video regarding global wind patterns. There do we have discussed that always the air blows from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. So the area of low pressure has developed above the land surface, whereas the area of high pressure has been developed above the sea surface. So the air will rush from this zone, from a region of high pressure zone to a region of low pressure zone. So means during the daytime, the movement of the air would be from sea towards the land. So we call this aspect as sea bridge. Whereas just you come to this situation during the night time, we have seen in the previous aspect that the uneven heating of the earth's surface. So during the night time, when the sunlight is not visible, we have discussed the land, it radiates out heat much more fastly and it cools down very fastly as compared to the sea water. So during the night time, the sea water would be much more hotter, and the air above the sea surface, it would be hotter, it would be raising above, and an area of low pressure would be developing here. Whereas on the other hand, the air above the land surface would be cooler and a region of high pressure would be developing there. So again, the air will rush from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. So again, the movement of air will take place from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. So this time the movement of air will take place from land to the sea. So during the night time, which breeze occurs? That is land bridge. So these two aspects that do we commonly observe in our day-to-day life. That is the basic reason behind these two atmospheric phenomenon. So let us have a quick look from the book Land and Sea Bridges. Water gets heated up slowly and then land during the daytime. So we have discussed that the specific heat capacity of water is more, means it requires more amount of heat to raise its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Hence the air above the land gets heated up more quickly and rises up. Cooler air from above the sea then rushes in to take its place. So we call this phenomenon of air as sea bridge. So that do we have discussed that during the daytime the movement of air, it takes place from the sea towards the land surface. So during the daytime sea bridge occurs. Whereas during night water cools more slowly than land. The air above the water therefore becomes warmer and rises up. Its place is taken up by the cooler air above the land. So this movement of air is called as land bridge. So do we have seen here that during the night time the heat of the land has been radiated out fastly, so the sea water, it would be still hotter, it would be warmer, and the air above the sea, it would be hotter as compared to the air above the land surface. So due to becoming hotter, the air has raised above and an area of low pressure has developed above the sea surface during the night time. And meanwhile the air above the land surface has developed high pressure. So again the air will rush from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. So this time the movement of air will take place from the land surface towards the sea surface. So at night time, which breeze occurs? That land bridge occurs. So these land and sea bridges help in maintaining the temperature of air at a more or less uniform value through the day and the night. We therefore have an equitable climate on places near the sea. So might we observe the places which are near to the sea, they are not having so much having higher temperature during the summer season, whereas also not having so much downfall in temperature during the winter season. The next topic, that is, do you know the wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity of a place all contribute to the development of the atmospheric convection currents into storms and cyclones. So whatever these different aspects, the speed of the wind, the direction of the wind, the temperature and the humidity of a place, they all contribute to the development of the certain atmospheric convection currents raising into storms and cyclones. So the strong wind sometimes forms a cloud and grows into a thunderstorm having a speed of around about 80 to 150 km per hour. So cyclone is a huge storm having strong spiraling winds going inwards and upwards at a speed of around 150 km per hour over warm ocean regions. So cyclones rotate in anti-clockwise or clockwise direction depending upon the position of the area, whether it is in northern hemisphere or in southern hemisphere of the planet. So the direction around the center of the storm, that is the eye, which is the calmest and low pressure region. The difference in the pressure determines the intensity of the cyclone and the strength of the winds. Once a mature cyclone forms, it can last up to a week depending upon the atmospheric and oceanic conditions. When cyclones come onto the land, they accompany heavy rain, strong winds, and large waves, and they can damage buildings, trees, cars, etc. So, do you know in summer, at places near the equator, the land warms up faster. So, we have discussed that the specific heat capacity of the sand is less as compared to water. So, during the summer season, the places which are near to the equatorial region, they warms up faster. Hence, most of the time, the land temperature is higher than that of the water in the oceans. So the air obviously over the land, it would be heated up and it rises above. This causes the wind to flow from the oceans towards the land, and these winds carry water and bring rain. So we call these winds as monsoon winds. So till so far here, in the next class, we'll discuss about the next method of heat transfer, that is radiation. Till so far, we have discussed the two methods which are conduction and convection methods of heat transfer. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe and stay healthy at your homes.